Guys, good morning. Happy Monday. It's High Vibe Monday time. So as y'all know, I like to come on every Monday and just give you guys a little bit of a boost so you stay high vibing all week. And this one's actually a little bit deeper than most High Vibe Mondays. And so when I was meditating with Spirit this morning, what they wanted me to come on and talk about, and then of course channel them because they want to give you an energy update, is about the feeling of a burden. A lot of people when they're older, why does life have to feel like a struggle? Why do I have to work so hard to get things? Why can't it just be easy? And what it stems from, it's law of attraction. Your thoughts that you think, if you think them long enough, they become a belief system. Your belief system is just how you view the world. Well, that's just how it works. Isn't that what's supposed to happen? Your belief systems become your reality. And so if you're having those thoughts of why does it have to be so hard? It's a struggle. My energy feels drained. My low energy. For a lot of people out there, it stems from young childhood and the feeling of being a burden to your parents. And it could have come from innocent reasons, like maybe your parents went through the Great Depression, or if you're not in the United States, look back at your country's history and the wars and stuff that happened there. But the Great Depression, a lot of people were unemployed. So if someone were to happen to get pregnant, whether intended or unintended, it would be a very normal human emotion to have concern, to have worry, like, how are we going to feed the baby? Oh my God, are we going to make, like, we're struggling ourselves. We're only eating 1 or 2 meals a day. Now we have a baby. So if they have the thought of those that can pass on energetically to you when you're in the womb, when you're a year old, when you're 2 years old, when you're 3, 4, 5, or maybe you didn't have that when you were in the womb, but maybe your father or your mother, feminism, woo, they were laid off when you were 5. And then if they simply have the thought of, wow, I have a baby to feed too. This would be so much easier if I didn't have to worry about a child. There's nothing wrong with that. That is a normal human reaction, okay? And then, of course, there's some of you who your parents had unhealed trauma and they actively sent you, the hate vibes energy in the belly. Like, I wish you weren't in there. I wish I didn't have to worry about a baby. I wish I didn't have to have this unpleasant conversation with my family that I'm pregnant. So you have enough of a viewpoint for you to just go back and reflect and think about what was your childhood like? What was your birth like? Were your parents in a place to financially provide for a child? Was there something that happened when you were 4, 5, 6, 7? Someone gets unemployed, or maybe you had a huge move. Normal human reactions, what gets passed on to you energetically, because when you're younger, you don't know how to understand. It's not that I'm a burden, it's that anybody in the situation would cause stress. Like if you've ever had a friend spend the night at your house, if you've ever been a guest at someone's house, no matter what, you are naturally disrupting their normal routine and their natural flow. That's not a personal, you're a bad guest. That's not a personal, you're a horrible person. Even if you're the nicest, most intuitive people who you just do everything that they need, without them even having to ask, there's still this little disruption to their normal routine. Anybody would be that disruption. Some bigger, the less intuitive you are, the more disruptive you're going to be. Even just a little disruption, it's a disruption. So it's not personal, okay, guys? So you have to recognize that. And here's going to be the energy shift and transfer from Spirit to help you guys release that feeling of I'm a burden when you were younger, because when you were younger, you couldn't process the emotions. When you're 2, you don't understand that. You take it personal. When mommy's crying, how am I going to feed you? I'm causing the hardship on her. You're instilling within you at a very young age, I'm a burden. I'm a burden. If you carry that with you when you're older, you're going to hire jobs that need you but don't like that they have to pay you, need you but don't like that they have to hire you. Like a lot of business owners don't like HR. They're like, this is just a government imposed rule system and I have to hire this person. You'll attract in those types of jobs. So let's just channel Spirit. Let's get the energy update for y'all so we all can be empowered, free-flowing, living a life of freedom, knowing that we are beautiful creatures and we're not burdens. You're not a burden. You're not a burden. You're not a burden. We would encourage an affirmation. You want your sternum bone right here, this bone in your chest. You want to act like there's a hook pulling it straight up to the ethers, all that is. And do an affirmation of, I'm not a burden. I'm not a burden. I'm not a burden. I'm not a burden. I never was, I never will be. I'm not a burden. A lot of times people think that affirmations are, I'm a successful multimillionaire in my dream house with my dream wife. But if you're down here afraid of money, money is evil, money is bad, that affirmation is not only doing you no good, it is doing damage. It is pulling you away from your desire. Instead, if you did an affirmation of, maybe money is not as bad as I thought it was. Maybe people who have money aren't as bad as I thought they were. Maybe money just isn't as bad as I thought it was. That's going to help you. That's a downstream thought. That's all it is. Upstream, you're thinking a thought that takes you away from it, or you're thinking a thought that is out of your vicinity right now, out of your belief system. Rather, if you just do something, maybe money's not as bad as I thought. Maybe it would be okay if I had more money. Maybe I could allow myself to increase in my financial frequency just a little bit every day, just so I can test it out, see how I feel. Maybe I could allow more money in. So that's kind of the value of affirmations. I'm not a burden. I'm not a burden. I'm not a burden. You're not a burden. You're not a burden. I'm not a burden. I'm not a burden on society. I'm not a burden to my parents. And if anything, my parents had great strength and great courage to have parents, to have children when they were going through the Great Depression or going through this layoff. And we're going to give you a little example. Kelly recently just kind of had a good cry, had a good tear, and went, I think it's bullshit that my mom had me when she wasn't healed from her trauma, and she didn't even try to heal from her trauma, and she had me. That's effed up, that's this or that. I spent so much of my life unscrambling my mind from that childhood abuse, from that emotional neglect, from that blatant, intentful abuse. And then she realized, wait a second, I'm 3 years older than when my mom literally gave birth to her first child. I remember what I was like 3 years ago, and I was still in the thick of my ego. I was still in the thick of my trauma. That woman had the courage to have a child. She didn't have an abortion. She didn't do anything else. She had a child even with that extreme level of insecurity. I didn't do that. I couldn't do that. And then she saw her mother for the empowered woman that she was. Did she enjoy a lot of her childhood? No. Will she ever find a lot of it satisfactory? No. There was some hateful, there was some hurtful, there were some unpleasant things that Kelly grew up with. You have to own the parts of it you don't like, because that's what keeps your emotional navigation system correct. That doesn't feel good, that feels good. It's when you try to make what felt bad feel good, that's when you get lost. That's when you get that confusion. That's when you get that doubt. It's, no, I didn't like that. But wow, you know what? Like, she had a child when she was going through that. And I remember my dad was laid off, and that woman didn't give up. She went in after being a stay-at-home mom for 10 years. She got off her booty and went out there and got a minimum wage cashier job just to bring some money in to make sure her children, even though there was mental mind effery going on, she wanted to make sure that her children were going on. We're getting along. Could get the shin cards to play soccer, even though she was, you want to hang out with them, not me? There was the manipulation there. There was not allowing Kelly to be a child and have friends, but it was, oh, but this is the woman who did this and this and this for me. So if you start with, I'm not a burden, I'm not a burden, I'm not a burden, I'm allowing myself to build a whole new belief system right here, right now. I'm not a burden, I'm not a burden. I'm allowing a whole new belief system that I'm a valuable contributing member to this society, be reinstated, reinstalled with me. All the cells within my body are waking up. The DNA in my body is releasing past trauma and calling in new light, new energy, new vitality. For me to live an ever expanding, hopeful, ever positively expanding life right here, right now. I'm no longer a burden. That's the chapter of my life that's over. I no longer have to carry energy for a hardship that my parents went through. Any child would have been that hardship. It wasn't me. It wasn't personal. It's okay to have had a parent who had mental illness raising me. It's okay to have had a parent who this or that. I am now my own parent. And I now intentionally set forth caring for my intellectual stimulation, my emotional stimulation, my mental well being. I forgive them for not being everything I needed them to be. And I now allow myself to create a list. What didn't they give me? What can I not have because of how they raised me? And that becomes your to-do list. That becomes your to-do list of what you are now teaching yourself. Your parents were but your vehicle and your vessel from non-physical to physical. The sooner you realize that, and the sooner you realize that you are a very empowered individual to start teaching yourself stuff, the better off you're going to be. We're going to give you one last little example. Kelly had this epiphany moment when she was 22. Why am I struggling? They're never paying me enough. After I pay all my bills, I only have like $300 a month. How am I supposed to live off that, have fun? And life can't just be work, bills, work, bills. Well, my parents didn't teach me how to negotiate. My parents just told me to accept whatever they gave me. My parents told me not to be greedy. So in job interviews, she would negotiate the salary down. Thoughts create your belief system. She had a flawed premise. She had a belief system, way of viewing the world that wasn't financially beneficial for her. After she screamed and cried and my parents, blah, 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 why couldn't they learn this? Look at this person who their parents taught them this. She finally just went, well, wait a second. Maybe I could read a book. I didn't go to UC Berkeley. Maybe I can do something about this. So then she started asking people, hey, how do you ask for a pay raise? She even asked her boss who she was going to ask a pay raise for. He gave her some tips. It led her to some search terms that she could search on the internet. And then it led her to a guy had a free YouTube series out. Within 3 months of that, she had a $15,000 pay increase. She could have gone for 20, but she was just so happy that she said yes to the first offer. You can teach yourself anything and everything that you want, dear ones. That is our wish for you. I am not a burden, but I'm a beautiful blessing to this planet, and I'm here to expansively enjoy this creative life on Earth. Ooh, that was a good message, guys. You guys pulled forth some really good information from Spirit. That was such a delight to channel that for you guys. I'm sorry about that noise in the background. That's my phone. I didn't realize I had an alarm set. But I did want to let you guys know that if you want a little bit more interaction with me, if you want to work with Spirit a little bit more up close and personal for that accelerated personal, mental, emotional, spiritual growth, then I have 2 powerful ways that you can work with me. The first one is a VIP All-Inclusive Intensive right here in beautiful Chattanooga. This is for the woman who you have experienced that flow and you have experienced great success in your life. Maybe you've had your first $250,000 launch. Maybe you've already started 2 companies and you're going for your 3rd. Profitable, successful businesses. Or maybe you've already done 1 bestseller. And you know that flow that comes with that. And now there's this other big goal where the thought's there. So you know it's possible for you. But yet it doesn't seem to be flowing. So you're starting to doubt if it's for you or if it's not. But all you crave is this feeling of significance and positive impact on the world. And you're finding yourself in the pedal loop, in the efforting loop, and let me do this to make it happen. And you know that's not the way to go about it. You know how your previous success came. It was idea, action, energy, action. It just flowed. The publisher came at just the right time. The editor came at just the right time, at just the right price. You know the flow and you know you're not in it. The leap that you're trying to make is before you mastered the energy for your personal success. This next leap that you're taking is mastering the energy to maintain the next level, the next consciousness of your success, as well as maintaining an energy field for other success. There's a difference between a woman or a man who writes a bestseller and a man or a woman who creates and launches the next 100 bestsellers while also putting her next bestseller out. You're taking that leap. So all the old tricks, all the old formulas, all the old techniques, all the old energy work will not work because this is your next level of consciousness. So if you're ready to transform that, get to that significance, get that positive world impact, come hang out with me in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Just go to kellylunt.com/apply. We'll hop on a phone call to see if it's right for you. It is a $10,000 experience because we are getting you all the energy shifts so that you can go from here to here and you can hold that space. It's all the energy shifts that you need to hit your next level of impact and your next level of success and finally feeling significant through and through, inside and out. It's a full 3-week experience. I'll tell you all the details when we get on the phone call. It's all inclusive when you get here. So just go to kellylunt.com/apply if that's what you'd like. If that's not quite your cup of tea, you're not looking for something quite as intensive as that, but still want some powerful shifts and growth from spirit, I have a high vibe club. Come hang out with me there, kellylunt.com/high vibe. It's a monthly membership, monthly, no contract, month to month, and I have 2 levels for you guys. I have the do-it-yourself for my do-it-yourself gal out there who you love to learn and grow at your own pace, at your own time. Maybe you work the night shift, so you're asleep during the calls that the interactive group gets, but you still want access to the information so you can grow. So many of my girls are already starting their own businesses, already like moving out from 4 people in a 1-bedroom house and getting their own apartment for the first time. Also, if that's something you want, come hang out with me, kellylunt.com/high vibe. The content's updated weekly. You get to submit questions that I make exclusive videos just for the group, just for your question. And if you join at the interactive level, that one's $12.99 a month, month to month, no contract. Or you can join $99 per month, and it's the interactive, and that comes with a once a month a live virtual synchronization workshop to really keep you on the leading edge of creation for your life. All right, I love you guys. Mwah. I hope this message helped you. If you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to stay updated on future contact. Drop me a little comment below. Let me know how this helped you. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.